guys, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so excited to do this reading. Oh my gosh, it's taken forever for me to come here and get to this December reading, and it's just such a pleasure for me. I believe today is December 6th. Am I right? December 6th? Goodness gracious. See what happens when you work from home? Just all the days fly out the window. But anyway, welcome back to another monthly reading. So for this reading, we're going to be taking a look at the month of December 2024. And just in case this is your first time, hi, welcome. As you may or may not know, we're dealing with energies, and energies flow the way they want to flow. And so many things can affect the time of how things manifest for you. Also, based on your own perceptions, you may be able to see certain energy or identify the manifestations of certain energetic dynamics, or you may not, or you may identify it, but you may misinterpret it. So either way, just always remember that, oh, and also very important, anything that's ever brought to your attention, for example, through this reading, if you don't like it, if it, excuse me, if it concerns you, if you're like, oh, I prefer, always think of the P word, I prefer to have a different reality for myself, always remember you totally can, because all I'm doing is reading the energies as they are at this moment based on your belief system, based on the collective belief system. It's so strong that I'm able to pick up on that energy because it's reached a certain threshold of probability. So it's in your realm of probability, but if it's not quite in the physical just quite yet, then always remember you still have time to make changes. And how do you make changes? Well, you start and you end, of course, with your belief system. You express your preference and you take action steps in alignment with what it is that you believe that you would like. Okay. Anyway, and also, just because you're making a mood board and you're doing all this and blah, 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 that alone is not enough. You must also take a look at, do your best actually to take a look at your subconscious desires, because you can, sing to the mountaintop about how you want to be married, but the minute you come and see your friendly local reader, hi, that's me, and we just touch your field, we realize, oh my God, you totally hate intimacy. You're afraid of commitment. You hate men or you hate women or you whatever. And those energies sometimes they're so strong because of the momentum that has gathered from that programming, and very often across lifetimes, that you don't know you're emitting more a stronger signal of that, and that aversion is what keeps away what it is that you say you want, as opposed to what is action steps you're taking in the here and now and what you're saying that you want. Okay, so hopefully that made sense. But that being said, here's what we're going to do. And first of all, I just want to say welcome back. Yay! Not to you guys, because we already said that, but to the overhead camera. Thank you. Every introvert's joy. So I promise I will be on camera from time to time, but let's jump in. Let's do our thing behind the camera. Here I am. All right, let's see. Let's do a few minutes of energy clearing. So I've already called in the big guns, but what I'll do now is I'm just going to, if you guys don't mind, you guys, I'm talking to you guys. If you guys don't mind, I'm just going to gently ground you into the energetic field that we've created for you to bring through the healing and transmutation. My left ear just popped as I said that. So some of you may already be feeling it. And of course, always remember that anything that is not for you or in your highest interest, whether or not we're aware of that or not, is not going to be able to affect you, or just think of it as like water off a duck's back. You will only get and absorb what it is that is best for you and what you're ready for, whether you're aware of it or not. Okay. So all right, so just boop, boop, boop. Bear with me a second. I'm seeing some of you kind of floating. Oh, how cute. You're like floating down. And some of you are like, I can do it. So you're floating down in your own way and tapping into the energetic grid that we've created here. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to do a little bit of a clearing of the yeah, okay. So I'm hearing a couple things. So one of the things the guide said is entity release. So some of you may be having some entities attached to your field. I mean, hey, occupational hazard, this is where we live, right? And the place is teeming with energy entities. And so just like with people in flesh and blood who are just purely energy wearing a skin suit, you will attract these things based on your frequency at the moment. So this is why it's important to do your best to stay in a higher state of mind, higher frequency, practice proper spiritual hygiene, which is like shielding, protecting self, and also maintaining healthy beliefs that align with I am and not with I am not, right? That's self-denial, self-doubt, and poverty consciousness. All of that will bring down your frequency and create openings for um, enticements. That's how they show up in our world. Okay, I'm seeing us doing a little bit of work in the heart space. We're not going to do too deeply, the guides are saying, in the heart space today or in the energy field today, because I guess we want to focus on the monthly energies. But I am going to do a little bit of sprucing up in the field in the heart. Also, some of you may be feeling sensations in the throat chakra. I do feel a lot of lies in the throat chakras that I'm clearing here. So if you have been telling untruths knowingly, please don't do it, because what you do when you do that is you literally are creating this misalignment with your own self, number one. And number two, we could, same way like a polygraph can just pick up on your lies. What do you think the energy field is gonna, it's the ultimate a lie detector test, and that decreases your power and your efficiency and all of that, because you're literally pulling yourself out of alignment. And when you're back in alignment, you're allowing the free flow of that electrical charge that is coming from your higher self, that frequency, to come right through you and to flow through you unimpeded. So keep this card out here. It's just showing, yeah, just to flow unimpeded to you. So get back into alignment. Also, some of you, I'm getting, I'm seeing some lies, and now I'm going to switch the word from lies to inconsistencies in data. Notice how the frequency changes and the words change, but that is located more in the upper chakras. I'm seeing for some of you in the third eye chakra. That's your cute little sixth chakra there, and inconsistencies in data. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and gently pull some of that out. Now, as we pull these energies out, these inconsistencies in data, I'm just going to translate to you guys an example of how it's manifesting for some of you. For some of you, this is manifesting as false beliefs in being subject or beholden to DNA, to your genetics. I know we all are singing the chords of epigenetics and DNA. I know my family and 23andMe, and then, but from an energy healing standpoint, I wouldn't waste so much time with those sometimes, because you really don't know what your susceptibility is or your probability is for certain things, unless you really look into your own spiritual soul curriculum. Anyway, and simply stated, and then we'll move on, that's because often in this physical world, we will have physical evidence for relations to those in our family, for example. But when we look at, remember, the body is just temporary. When we look at the energetic anatomy, your actual energy bodies and such, they will speak to you about different lineages, about different alignments and all of that. So you really just can't know. So anyway, I'm just going to let that flow out. And that's why those are being seen as limitations for you in inconsistencies in data in this third eye. I almost said third dimension, because that's what I was supposed to say, but I was pushing to say third eye, but same space, right? I mean, two messages coming through at the same time. Okay. They're doing clearing out of ear chakras for some of you. For some of you, this Christmas energy. Okay, I was going to say this Christmas time, but they did say this Christmas energy. When I say they, first of all, it's my higher self. So why I'm saying they. I'm a lot. We're working together. Team Jonelle Bean. I name my higher self Jelly Bean, and my name's Jonelle. So when our powers combine, we are Jonelle Bean. So we're working together to bring through this information, multidimensional healing. But what I was going to say is, I'm sensing that around this Christmas time, for some of you, in this Christmas energies, for some of you, I do feel in the clairaudience sense, you're going to be unblocking. Oh, as I said that, my left ear just popped. I kid you not. You're going to be unblocking your I want to say ear chakras, but obviously your ear chakra. When we're talking about clairaudience, we're talking about the throat chakra, but and the ear chakras are located, I believe it's above the eyebrow. So when I say this, I'm just talking about in terms of connected to your clairaudience and whatnot. I do see an opening up there. So some of you may well find yourself, it really feels around the 26th to be very rather specific, but we're energy reading, so the times can be, earlier or later. But I really feel some of you are being directed towards clairaudience for the sake of doing channeled writing. So some of you and you'll know if that is specific for you because you may already have been thinking, oh, I would love to do what do they call it? Automatic writing. Thanks. Automatic writing, but in a sense of like, oh, I'm hearing clairaudiently and I'm taking notes about something. And for some of you here, somebody here, this feels really like way off to the side. So it's showing me it's really specific for somebody. You may actually have some type of court case or some type of deliberations or some type of legal proceedings or some type of documentation where spirit is going to actually relay something to you through clairaudience for you to write down. So make sure you jot that down because it's going to be some important information that's going to assist you or somebody within your proximity. And so you may relay the message to them. So just be mindful, guys. You all are channels. We all channel. It's just that, you may not be able to discern when those moments are. And then of course there's the typical out of this world channeling like this where it's so obvious. But just keep in mind that when you get strokes of insight, for example, or if you're in the zone and you're just in your flow and things are coming, like make sure you record that, okay? God is good. They also notice I said make sure you record that. If you notice my voice change there, it's carrying another message for somebody here that, oh, this is coming through strong. It's not coming through with a front hand and a backhand, but I'm just like adding to let you know, like it's coming through strongly where it's like, hey, hello, we've been sending you messages. So somebody here, if you've been questioning whether you're already channeling or whether you're receiving information that may or may not be discursively referred to as a prophetic word, I said discursively because it's a reference to how humankind tends to limit energies and then label things to kind of be in their framework of knowledge. So they'll say you may think of it, oh, it's prophetic word, right? But just understand that if that's you and you think that, oh, am I for reals? I thought about that. Now I'm seeing it come to pass. And oh, I told my cousin about this 3 years ago, and now she didn't listen to me, and here she is in the right. Yeah. If that's you and you're feeling like, oh, I'm lighting up right now, then the message is for you, start writing this down because spirit has been, the T word's coming out, testing you. Now, when we say testing you, it's carrying two messages here. Testing in the sense of calibrating. They're helping you to calibrate. So they're sending you information in different ways to see if you can, like, what is she or he picking up on, right? Okay, we sent them a little wind on their back. And did they get the message, the frequency of energy we sent along with that wind? No, they didn't. Okay, let's throw a leaf there. Did they get the message that we put there? No, they didn't. Oh, let's whisper something as they're waking up from sleep. Did they get? Yes, they got that. Right, so this is the calibration and the testing. The second testing message that comes along with that word testing is like, yeah, testing in a sense, testing your proficiency, right? So there may be a proficiency test that they're running through you, like, because in the same sense that you're being let's say trained or assessed for this, you're also doing things. You're also in the action of receiving. Thank you. In the action of receiving and then giving out the messages or not. I don't know how you've been doing it, but they're testing your proficiency in that. And when we talk about proficiency, like how close can you get to the actual gist of the message that's being brought through for you? And when I say how close, because remember, like what I'm doing, for example, is I'm channeling, yes, but I'm a receiver. I'm receiving, and then what do? I interpret it by doing my best, dear God, to put it into allot it into see, notice I said put it into, and I shifted to allot it into. That was on purpose to show you guys yeah, some of you, okay, that's interesting. So many messages coming through. Let me finish that one to show you that when we're interpreting, we're taking the frequency and we're doing our best. The channel is doing their best with the framework that they have to match the frequency, so that it's interpreting and using the correct words. But I said, oh, so many messages, because the next message that was coming right when I said that is that some of you are going to be undergoing training, calibration, so calibration, testing for proficiency, and of course, training, live training. Imagine how live training can be when you can actually hear your guides in a clairaudient way. And there is saying shout out to those of you who are also clairsentient and you pick up the sensations from your guides, you're feeling them. It's a whole different world, guys. So when I tell you guys, we out here, who's we? I don't know. You do, all of us. You can do this. You know me. If you've ever had a reading with me, I'll tell you the truth as best as I can. And it always comes with a hug, but we out here telling the truth. And I would not lie to you and fluff it up and say, oh, you can do this if you couldn't. You can do this. Like, here we are. And if you want some, yeah, mentoring, training, all that, hit me up, right? We've been known to do calibrations for people. So you know exactly where to find me. Check I always forget to mark it for myself. If you'd like to have an intuitive counseling session where we pretty much do everything, you know exactly where to find me. Find a link to my Etsy page if you'd like to have an intuitive card reading where we bring through whatever you need anyway. Go ahead and find the link on my Etsy page. We also offer written readings, which may be a more economic alternative for some of you. We also do distance healing for you guys. And when we say distance healing, I mean Team Jonelle Bean, right? And one more thing I wanted to say. What was it? They were trying to tell me to say one more thing. Blah 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 blah. Oh, that's right. We do payment plans. So thanks, Klarna. Yay! I'm trying to train myself to only shop using Klarna now. But Klarna, if you buy something 50 and over on Etsy, they will, at least in my shop, you will be able to pay in installments. So check it out. All right, let's get back to the regularly scheduled messages. I think we're good on that information about the clairaudience. Anything else? Let me just go to the feet before we head into December energies. I'm just going to go to the feet a little bit. I see some of you are grounded, like I said, we plugged you in, but I'm also seeing that some of you are hovering like about this much off the grid that we've created for this session, for this reading. And this is important. The reason why, hold on, let me make sure I lock in on that. Yeah, the reason why is because you don't need to be completely plugged in. And now as I'm saying that, some of you are like, oh, phew, I can lift myself up again. Lift myself up again. I was going to say lift myself up a bit, but like a little off the ground, but lift myself up again. And I also want to say, coming through with that message, just going to head to train, because I guess I'm training some people listening to this at the same time. Notice I just got multiple messages, right? That's because we can cram multiple messages along the same frequency. So all I'm trying to do is unlock and allot all these messages coming through. So when I said I can lift myself up again, I do want to say I'm seeing a 6-month mark there. And when I saw some of you lift it off the grid a little bit, it was a 3-month mark. So now we see the superimposition of timing along with that message. So as to say channel, but as the trainer, they're saying, my called attention would be like, well, why am I getting a timing here at the same time? Well, why did we say again? Because that's also bringing in another message that for some of you may be feeling like really down in the dumps, really like you're off your game, like I haven't been doing anything, like I haven't blah, 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 fill in the blanks. But I want you to know sometimes well, they're saying the blame game. Because I'll just say, boom, the blame game. Get the blame game out of there. Oh, there it is. The reason why a lot of you are missing the mark, so to speak, in other words, why you're not meeting your goals, why you're not staying within the plans that you have, why you're not making things happen, quote unquote, in the way that you'd like to, is because you're still in victim consciousness. I know it's a hard sell when we're in the deep pain and stuff, and I get it. I've been on the floor many times, fetal ball, can't even get out get out of these clothes, many a time. And so from that space, and then also to being on the opposite side of that many a time, and then even going back and forth, I want to let you know you can get out of there's like the fetal ball. You can get out of the victim consciousness, but the only way you can get out of victim consciousness is by choice. You literally have to choose. And that could simply look like, okay, everybody, blah, 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 did this, I did this, I blah, 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 I experienced this. But you know what? I choose to make another choice in this moment. And the problem is why you can't get to that place sometimes is because you don't have a strong why. Everyone has a why. They have a hidden motivation for doing things. There's always a hidden motivation for why we take certain actions. The problem is it's always unconscious. And what a lot of people don't realize is the conscious motivation most often is completely unrelated to the actual hidden motivation as to why they do things that they do and have beliefs that they do. So if you are not getting to an understanding that self-awareness through your shadow work, through your alignment with higher self, to just being open to seeing how you actually, what's going on under the hood, then you're just spinning your wheels up here and kind of trying to make a life off of things that you think that you want, things that you think that you believe, think people that you think you should marry and all of it. It's the house on sand and fog, right? You need to get down to the basics to understand, well, what's actually running what's running this engine altogether? Is it running on oil, or is it on, did I throw some coolant in it and we're about to shut down? Like, what's going on? And so Spirit is saying, to sum that up, some of you are out here on thinking you're expanding things, but you're actually living from a place of poverty consciousness, victim consciousness. And that victim consciousness, very oversimplified, looks like, hey, this happened to me, that person, or like, I experienced this, the person who made this happen was that person, and I can't move on because, and very often we get very lost in this. And your why, without realizing it, is so deeply embedded, and it looks something like this: because I don't deserve it. Excuse my language, I'm just picking up on the field. Fucking god damn it, I don't want to fucking move on, and fuck you for even asking me. That's the kind of language I hear as your gentle and friendly healer when I tap into your fields. And listen, we all have that in the basement, but don't act like you don't have a basement. You're out here making parties on the first floor, and let's move up to the second floor. That basement is full. It's got, rotting wood, it's got mold, it's got rodents, it's got water. Let's go down there, let's check it out. And sometimes it's so interesting in readings, we head down into the proverbial basement, but sometimes we've gone into the basement of the basement. And that is such a sacred place to be, because first of all, any clients that are come in there, that is able to happen in their reading, shows that they really are willing to have that change occur for them, because they're willing on some level to see what am I moving off of down here. So that is a certain level of bravery and willingness to be vulnerable and to really shift your consciousness. When you clear that foundation and such, guys, the sky's the limit, because it literally lifts up the vibration. So if you would like a little homework, God bless, a little HW, start looking at your days, maybe for the next week, and throughout each day, just gently write down any moment where you just, even in passing, if you're able to catch it, have a moment of victim consciousness, like, um, they gave me the wrong drink. Oh, why does this always happen to me? Or, God, this is the worst. And like, just whatever it is, or now we have to work late. Oh, everyone's just dumping their work on me. Like, yeah, a flip side to that would be something like, oh, okay, well, they're doing that again. That's what they're choosing to do, whether they're aware or they're unaware of that. They're choosing to make a choice in their life that results in me having more work on my table. That's a fact. That's it. You don't know, even if you're like, oh, and they don't like me, and that's all your story. They may well not like you, but if you look at it from a higher perspective, you realize they're not really seeing you. How could they like or not like you? Because they energetically can't even see you. They're just seeing themselves bouncing right back onto themselves. And then we have to talk to them about their self-hatred. It's just a whole thing. But the point is, make up a different reality for that. Make up a different story. All right, well, listen, here I am working on Christmas Day because A, B, C, D, E made choices in their life that resulted in me having this extra work, and I somehow came to be working on this day. Gosh darn it, I'm going to make it the best darn Christmas Day working ever. I'm going to shine bright. And when I sit and do this work, I'm going to be out here. God's going to hear we out here on this Christmas Day doing it. And I'm going to give myself a cute little muffin. Love muffins. I'm going to give myself a love muffin. Cute. I'm going to have a muffin and a hot beverage, and can't nobody talk to me on today, because I'm just in the spirit of giving. When you shift yourself, what you're doing is you're literally moving your foot from off this pedal, victim, to I'm doing a thing. I'm focusing on doing a thing. How are you going to do it? I'm going to do it with the highest version of me possible. I'm going to stop with the griping. I'm just going to give my energy in this moment towards what I'm doing. As opposed to, I'm going to take this energy, mix it in with this lower frequency of victim consciousness and, oh, woe is me, and I'm angry. I'm going to make sure everyone knows in the office. I'm going to send off snarky emails, and I'm just going to put it all here. And then I'm going to sit here and pump out these documents and reports. All you're doing is disseminating lower frequency energies because you are fielding the energy and it's through you. So it doesn't matter at the end of the day whether you see yourself at pearly gates or what do you call it, a life review or whatever. At the end of the day, all you're going to see is this. Oh, hey, listen, we collected all these actions that you did. Let's check the frequencies. PKE meters. Shout out Ghostbusters, anybody, right? And then let's take a look at December 24th, that day when you know, were blah, 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 and you didn't know, but you were handling six accounts in that workplace when you were working on that day and you were so angry. You were handling six accounts for six different people trying to get home loans, for example. I'm just making that up, right? And you siphon that lower frequency energy into the frequency of that paperwork, and that went on to siphon, you know, so start being responsible. People talk about social responsibility in terms of actions that they do, and that is very important, but all actions start with your belief, your self-concept of what your value is, your worth. And it's tainted or it's uplifted by your lenses. If you're on that poverty consciousness, victim consciousness, martyrdom consciousness, energy, if you're on that vengeance mode, if you're on that whatever mode, we can name them, then all of that is filtering right in. And now here we are trying to head into gift giving season. What are we doing, right? So I'm just putting that out there because we're just, you know, it's just coming up. So I was going to say, in my mind, I'm messaging. Yeah, I'm sending all these, bringing through all these messages, and part of me is like, when are we getting to December? And they're like, this is the message. So okay. So long story short, this is what it means to be mindful of your energetic output. Mindful of your energetic output, and how you're mindful of your energetic output is to be mindful about how you're feeling, what the thoughts that you're thinking, the stories you're telling, all of the narratives you're telling reflect your perspective of what's happening now. And if you get six different people, they'll all have a different perspective of that based on their own stuff, right? And then start wondering, well, what beliefs do I have about myself and about the world, about my value, about everything that lead into me, or that lead to directly result in me having this specific perspective. The perspective is magic. It's meaningless. It means nothing, right? It's your beliefs that open up to a perspective. And then if you're not on that mindfulness moment, you're just going to react like a bomb, as opposed to saying, oh, let me stop. I'm noticing I'm having these thoughts. Oh, it must be from these beliefs, right? And then from there, but I prefer I acknowledge how I'm feeling and thinking and stuff, because hello, it's just what it is. But I prefer to be about this. So what you're doing in that healthy space is you're allowing yourself to have the emotions, to feel the thoughts, to let things come up without limitation, but then to make an informed choice about how you would like to, how you would prefer to be in an influence in this world. So if you, shout out to my teachers, we don't often have the time to kind of do this as much as we'd like, but before you grade those essays that just want to bring you to your knees and fail everybody, just kidding, no, just kidding. But you know what I mean. If you know, you know, if you're in a bad mood and you're just not feeling it, don't grade those essays yet. You need to manage your mood, grade a few until you start feeling like, oh, I'm getting into a bad mood or I'm getting stressed out. Put it away and then come back and give it your best. Because when you show up half stepping, then you start giving half stepping energy out, right? Or quarter stepping. All right, so we're going to leave that there. And all of that we just pulled from looking into the collective field. So I'm gently going to, oh yeah, they said just to remind those of you, or whoever it was that you're like, I need to get back up again. I can't remember exact words, but again, with that 6 month mark, that alone should tell you, hey, this too shall pass, whatever I'm going through. Now, if you're waiting for the sign, to start believing in yourself again, to start revving up that engine again, to I can, not I think it can, but I can do it, right? This is your moment. And you do it by stop beating the horn of I'm a loser. I never get anything, or I looked in my bank account, it's got zero, it's got negative. Stop with all that. You're wasting your time looking in the physical. Yeah? It just doesn't make sense. The physical is only ever going to report to you what has already been, let's say, created or made or brought into something. It just takes time and then it hits physicality, the physical plane, and manifests as a thing. So if you really would like to experience something better, start thinking about what it is that you'd like to prefer. Focus on getting yourself into a positive state of mind. That's the I believe I can have it. I know I can have it. And then really close your eyes and just go through the feelings of already having that. Make that a practice. What you're doing is you're doing this every now moment. Oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah. Oh hell yeah. And over time it then starts to become physical. And that's going to be what permeates, the veil, and then erects right in front of you, around you, in your physical reality, as things that you prefer. Anyway, we're not going to spend too much longer on that because I'm already spending longer than I wanted to. Hold on. Okay. Trying to be better about the timing. Oof. Once I get in the zone, I'm like, all right. So thank you, Spirit. Thank you, team. Thank you, guides. Oof. Thank you. Oh, you heard them. They said thank you. Okay. Let's see about December. Oof. As I said, December, I felt like I just felt like pushed off for a second. And that's a beautiful thing because the next card that comes out, Will, Wisdom, and Mind, to me, in my opinion, I mean, energetically speaking, this card is the highest frequency card in this deck. Whenever it shows up in my readings, this right here, it says one word: integrity. It's strong. I don't know if you can feel it. I can't even make a fake noise. I don't know what the sound is, but boom. And to even get here, the minute, notice I put this card down first and then that, and when I went to like be here, it like threw me off. This guy with his little slingshot is like, no one's touching this unless you have the right frequency. You know what that tells me? This is literally putting a cute little feather in the cap of what we were just talking about. If you're trying to get to that optimal lifestyle, if you're trying optimal lifestyle, meaning the lifestyle that brings you the most joy, and I'm not talking about your fake programmed joy, like, oh, I was programmed to feel joyful and successful and efficient and fulfilled by this and that if I make, no. We're not talking about that. We're talking about you, your factory settings, over and over and over every lifetime, has nothing to do with whatever lifetime and civilization and culture you come down in. We're talking about soul's joy. So we're shifting ourselves up in frequency to let go of the temporary personality matrix that you are. Okay, so I'm not even going to use your name because you've got many names, right? So Spirit is saying, in order to get to that optimal space in your continuum is the word I'm saying, in your continuum, because we're here in this fake timeline continuum, right? In order to really bring that, I'm reframing these words, in order to bring that true joy that is yours into this frequency. As I was coming down, notice my hands started to shake because like now we're getting the static and the crystallization and the frequency of the 3D, the plane, physicality. But the higher up you go, it's more like it's just free. It's light. It's right. So in order to bring that joy and really ground it into this frequency, you are the conduit. And so if you cannot maintain a vessel, an energetic vessel, an auric field, an electromagnetic field, and your energetic anatomy, all directed by one thing and one thing alone, your consciousness. If you cannot do that, then these higher frequencies can't make their way down. And that's when we'd say, oh, you're more of the world, but you need to be, if you like to enjoy what is actually for you, you need to move towards being in the world, but remembering that you're not of the world. And that looks different. That looks like this, straight down to the world. Oh, hold on. Let me get, the homie. He's gonna help. Sometimes I'm seeing things and I just gotta use this guy. So if this is you, you're doing your thing down here. You're in the physical. We're all in the physical. God bless you. But when it's time, and you're ready to put that antenna up and receive more of you, to embody more of you, to have the energetic downloads, to have the upgrades, to take on your initiations, to take on more of yourself, whatever you want to say, to be anointed to all this stuff, it is just about maintaining the correct frequency. Hi, to bring your own energy down. There's no other energy that you're bringing in except yourself, right? And so if you are out here with these programmed beliefs that are of the earth, they're so programmed. Hey, simple one. Well, I want to make more money. I can't make more money if I don't have a job. And I can't get a new job if I don't have the right paperwork and education. And I can't get the education if I don't have money. And I can't get the money if I can't get it. You look at you doing way too much. There are people who, became filthy generationally rich because they walked out on their backyard and found oil, or because what is that backpack kid? Super cute, right? I mean, how people manage their money and all of that, and who they allow into their field as a result of that is up to them, right? And they may have soul ties and karmic stuff about that, but the point is, nothing is stopping you from calling in except for your beliefs, because it is natural for you to receive. So when you're in victim consciousness, you're saying, I can't do because that person, listen, then you're just wasting your time. You have to let it go. If you're in martyrdom, I can't go back to school because everybody needs me. I can't, everyone can't survive if I don't cook dinner. All right, since you're already on the cross, that's all that. Poverty consciousness. Oh my God, I would love to be jet setting and yachting, but I can't do that. Boom. Because you know what? I'm from the school of hard knocks and I grew up in the projects and I'm here and this is that. I'm not, whatever it is that you guys are telling yourself, even as simple as like, oh, if I want to make more money, I have to work longer hours. That alone, boom. You have to stop having those beliefs. Your beliefs create your physical reality. So if you are the divine programmer and you have input, this is you having input. Start acting like a programmer. If you've ever programmed even like a little calculator, you have to put the programming in the code in for what a button looks like, where it appears. Like that's what it is. In your world, if you say that more money only comes with longer work hours. It comes with arguments because you won't be able to be with your wife at home. It comes with missing out on your family time. It comes with needing to get more education. It comes with needing to be a certain age. All you're doing is, and then if you're blaming the man and blaming all this, yeah. Now, does that mean that the man and all these other people aren't playing a role? No, it doesn't. But you forgot your power. You don't have to plug in to that reality. Learn to plug out. And you do that by expanding your consciousness. That literally looks like, oh, there's more than one way to experience this reality. And you don't believe me until you see other people your age, not your age, your color or not your color, your gender or not your gender, people doing as well as you, or people coming from nothing as far as you're concerned, doing 10 times better than you. And if you're on that sour grapes mode, you're going to find some reason why, well, they made it because, no, just stop it, right? Just stop it. This is where the choice comes in. Stop looking at your situation as a prison and start getting on that code, right? This is the homework. The homework is to take control, as the guides say. They always like, take control. They literally always say that to me. And I kid you not, I'm always like, what do you mean? Take control. Stop being out here acting like You know, you're this prisoner that you can't exceed, you can't succeed, that you all they're asking for is a shift in my perspective. When you do tarot, you understand that the Eight of Swords is a super powerful card. Now, the Eight of Swords looks kind of ominous, especially between the Seven of Swords, deception, and the Nine of Swords, straight up depression, crying in the car, crying in the shower card, like I'm low on energy, I hate my life, I hate everybody, just KMN. Eight of Swords is literally their nuance of the Eight of Swords, the obsessive thinking, the feeling trapped in your mind state. That's the sword suit. The nuance is like, hey, baby girl. Don't say that. I don't know why I say that. That's for someone's grandmother or aunt or somebody wanted to get someone's attention. Hey, baby girl, that's you. That is all you. The nuance of the Eight of Swords is you must shift your perception. When you shift your perception, you walk right out of that blindfold. You walk right out of those shackles. You walk right out of the swords. Because the problem that a lot of people don't realize, and this is by design, it's the way society is designed, you are in control. You just forgot that and you don't understand the extent of that. And that's because you've been taught to believe more in the material than in the non-physical. And that looks simply like thinking that your DNA and your genetics are your death sentence or your life's calling or what's going to happen to you. And hey, all these ancestors that I found out on the, yeah, you're not your body. Last lifetime, you were some other thing in some other time frame, or even the same time frame, because things are not linear. And you just chose a vessel to learn and experience what consciousness and experiences your soul wanted. You have to understand the personality and the life that this, all this, you just take off your clothes, right? So why would you identify with your sweater? You must understand that's passing. It's passing stuff. And so when you understand that I'm not my body, you understand that you literally whoosh, throw off the shackles. And then you start digging deeper and you understand that actually I'm my mind. And I don't want you to think about my mind based on like, well, what have psychologists said about the mind? What have scientists said about the mind? What has my religion said about the mind? What has my grandpappy said? Forget all that. You get quiet and you remember you are, and that's it. The consciousness here and the way to really the shortest way, we talked about this in one of our weekly posts, which by the way has a character count and character limit, so I can't really expand on things there, just like, oh, right. The shortest way to really catapult in anything, to raise your frequency, is self-love. And the reason why is because your self-love is self-acceptance. What is self? I am. You're either in alignment with your I am self and you're allowing that energy to flow through. You're just energy. That's it. And all this Jonelle and this cute little cat whose name is Jellycat and all these other things, these are just manifestations of an energetic flow. Now, these things took the form of cards for me because it's based on my energy. It didn't take the form of a forklift. Somewhere else in the world, their energy flow took the form of a forklift because that's how their soul wanted to experience their own energy, right? Now, here's the thing though. When these energies flow, if you're in alignment with it, you're in the state of I am, I can, I do, I will, everything is positive. So if you're ever trying to pray and you're trying to understand about stuff, which is really us just trying to get to the value of who we are and whatever, right? Always remember your true essence does not speak in terms of what you cannot do. You will never hear it be like, oh, you can't do this, you can't do that. It only speaks to you in terms of what you can do, what brings you joy. And it's your job to bring yourself to it. Imagine the fire hydrant. It's got all this water. You got to take off the thing. Yeah, do your thing. Establish the connection, and then you got to put the hose on. The hose, it's coming, but you got to do that. right? So if you're out here, I can't, you're not going to find it because it's just like, I am. You have to align with that. And that frequency is grounded into the earth through what? Your energy field, your body, your sushumna, your energetic spinal cord, whatever you want to say, comes right in. And if you are able to hold that energy, that frequency, and on another level of the field, you can think of it as those beliefs, and then you can think of it at another level of the field as the thoughts that align with those higher beliefs, and then another level of the field, the emotions that align with those thoughts. And right, if you can hold that, notice how it goes down the chakra, the body, the auric field, and then what? It can ground into the earth, and then you are this conduit, and then you are this example of what? The actualized self, where you have literally simply embodied your higher self. But it goes off the rails when you're out of alignment with that, with your own false beliefs and your false programmings. And this is the number one way to enslave somebody. You get them to believe something that is not what they are. You manipulate them, you tell them what they can't do, you make them feel small. This is the corruption of the consciousness. And when we talk about the Christ consciousness, we're talking about that templated self. It has nothing, don't even think about plugging into a religion about this because it's such a hotbed issue for a lot of people. They struggle because they literally cannot get outside of religious thinking. You got to open up your mind, open up your heart, open up your energy field to understand that there are energies that are out there, and that energy is you. And when it comes down, everyone's receiving their own, but only some people are in power. And those people, if they are not in their heart space, if they're not in alignment and they're in power, though, they're going to disseminate things in the perspective that they see it. So when we liberate people, we remind them that, hey, you have your own. That person has their own. That person has their own. And whether or not, if that person's in power and you're down here, you don't have to plug into their perception of something. So when we talk about sovereignty, it's understanding that you've always been a free agent. The reason why you don't believe yourself to be that way is because you've been brainwashed or convinced to see look at these four people plugging into, listen, what are we talking about, right? Look at these four people plugging into somebody else's perception of something they can't even fathom. Look at this, architect, the queen of keys. This is power by somebody else interpreting what is for everybody. Look at this. Look at how this lines up with the colors here. This is the integrity card. Listen, guys, we're not making this up. You have to get in alignment with your own self. This is the age of Aquarius. You start to interpret the field, which is free for everybody. You get into alignment with your I am, which is unlimited thinking. I am, it's love-based thinking. Instead of choosing, even unconsciously, to plug into some other people's corrupted, I heard them say jacked up. Who that? Yeah. I haven't used that word in a long time, yeah, in probably decades, right? Jacked up, um, you know, ideas of this. They can't see. Who are these people that you're following? And then some people can, they're seeing a little bit of sky, they're a little bit, but maybe they've got other stuff going on. Look at this commitment and fated meeting. They've got other stuff going on. Why don't you gently come and discover for yourself? This is what it means to think for yourself. And it always starts with understanding you're not a victim. You're not a victim. You will only see yourself as a victim when you align with the belief that somebody else has a better will, a better grasp on reality, understanding, structure, whatever. When they're trying to sell you downriver, you can choose to go or not. But when you're ready to awaken, that's why it's important to start to individuate. Individuation doesn't mean I'm leaving everybody behind. No, it means I'm meeting myself. I'm agreeing to listen to what is. And I understand to listen. I even have to start understanding that I need to change my idea of what it means to listen. What is knowledge? I don't care how many, you know, letters you have after your name. I've got two master's degrees. What does it mean? It means nothing. It means things in certain ways. It gives me access to certain things and such. But as I look upon a wider array, it has no bearing. You could be the drunkest person on the street in a homeless state, and then when we see you on the other side, we see that, oh my God, you're actually a spiritual master, and your soul contract this lifetime was an act of love and service taken on by you to come down and be that, so that people can see that and it can touch their heart, and then they can go and help other people and open organizations and join soup kitchens and write books and bring advocacy. So you cannot understand what other people are all about, right? You have to understand you. Sorry, he's so cute. Anyway, this is a big message in what time is it? I literally have a timer running, so oh my God, yay, it's under an hour. Um, long story short, what you doing? What you about? Who are you being? And whose will is telling you that that's who you are and what you are, right? Why are you doing these things? What's motivating you? So when you look under your tank and you look under your hood and you see that your engine is running with the beliefs set in power by certain friends, certain family members, certain community members, certain people in the government, certain organizations, certain institutions, who some of them don't even know how to treat a dog. Why would you plug in? And then a lot of people are fighting each other online and in other countries and in their neighborhood because of ideologies that, when you just raise your consciousness a little, just falls like sand through your fingers. It's meaningless. Okay? Meaningless, because you think, based on what you've seen in the news, you think you understand what's happening. And so therefore it says you can't talk to that person. You have to go across the world and kill this person. You have to stop patronizing here. You have to look this way. You have to dress this way. You can't go to this function. And if you go to that function, you can't go with that person. You can't wear these shoes, and you can't crease these sneakers, and you can't. Where is all of this coming from? Because I'll tell you what, it's not coming from the higher self. The higher self is not going to be all up in the details. The higher self isn't going to say, well, he cheated on you like a dog, so you need to leave. The higher self is not about that. The higher self is always going to be like that warm blanket, trying to get you to what? Turn away from and look at yourself. What do you like? What do you enjoy? What do you deserve? It's going to be simple. Did you like feeling left out? Mm-mm. If you can even allow yourself to say no, and then if you're able to listen that deeply to yourself, to create that space for you and your spirit team. The spirit team's like, don't forget us, right? Your team of professionals. Who do you think's helping me when I'm doing these energetic surgeries and these counselings and dipping into your akashics or whatever information? Because I always ask for information to be brought to me about my client. Who do you think's helping me? They are. And your higher self, right? They're speaking to you in terms of reflection. They're always like, reflect. Yeah, I know you feel guilty about not being at the dinner table with the family. How does it make you feel? And you think, I don't feel so good. Do you feel rejected? Do you feel whatever? And then they'll give you another perspective. They'll say, well, why do you feel that you have to go? Do you feel obligated? And then you may even say, well, I miss the camaraderie. And then maybe they'll bring you to some memories, and they'll say, well, when you went there the last 8 times, did you feel safe? Were you the butt of the jokes? It's getting you to think. That's what the higher self does. It gets you to feel, it gets you to think, it provides you with examples, it gives you reinforcements like this video. Hey, right? Shout out to the higher self. Higher self is just you with a greater perspective. From this time and space, with our mind, our human mind, we will perceive of this higher self. If we looked at it along a timeline, it would be our future self, way into the future. But remember, there's no past, no present, or whatever. It's just a higher dimension of you. It's a more expanded state of you, and it's all you. So you can zip, shift your perspective up or zip, crystallize it down by focusing on the details. If you come to a reading, yes, we can talk about your cheating boyfriend. I will talk about that, right? Talk about your cheating boyfriend, or we can expand the perspective and also look at the soul contract. We can look at what's going on in their field, look at what's going on there. What are we doing wasting time in the details all the time? Right? The details are just manifestations of these belief systems. So we want to get to what's in the tank. What's driving you? So when you read my posts, and again, there's such a character count, so we can't really delve in there, but when you read the weekly post and the guides talk about programming, unplug. You don't have to plug into anything. It's only you that continues to plug into the every now moment. Embrace your sovereignty, embrace your free agency. Your free agency means it's okay for me to have beliefs, and I have beliefs, I have desires, I have joys. I just don't know what they are. And in order to get to them, I have to stop plugging into other beliefs that cover it. It may call on you to do certain things like fasting, if that's what it is, may not even be. It may ask you to get secluded for a little bit, and that has energetic reasons. Why? Because, we're feeling other people's stuff in your field, especially if you don't practice proper spiritual hygiene with your shieldings. You're going to come in with Tom, Dick, and Harry stuff in your field, right? We all do it, so we have to create space. And we have to allow for things to be released. If you ask your higher self to create the space for you to connect, if you start missing, like your friends are like, oh, let's meet up, and now you're playing phone tag, or this person got angry at you and they walked out, let them go. It may be temporary, maybe for the rest of this lifetime, but you must let them go, because what you've done is you've created an energetic space, and energy is the foundation for all form. So if you clear certain energies, or like the entity attachments, if you get rid of certain false beliefs, all this stuff that's been in your energy field, guess what? The form, people, places, things, situations, ideas, the forms that are built upon those energetic constructs based off of your beliefs, because your beliefs give sprout to these constructs, which in this physical dimension become things, forms, people, places, things, situations, ideas. So when you change your mindset, it's going to change the construct, and it's going to change the form. And if you completely eradicate, you dispel these false beliefs, the construct dispels. It was never real. Only things that are real are permanent. It was never real, so it'll terminate and it's gone. But guess what? Things of that same similar frequency that was here, this frequency of this construct, they can no longer be in your field, because it's like having a hanger with clothes. If you get rid of the hanger, the clothes just drop, right? And because we're dealing with your energy field, if you get rid of the hanger, this form is flown out of your field. It cannot stay. Impossible. And if you think about it, that's why people don't understand the reality of energy. When you know how to wield your energy, you know how to wield your physical life. If you don't know how to get to your mindset, you will not know how to wield your energy. In order to understand what your mindset is, you have to look at your belief systems. At the very least, give yourself permission to have an opinion that's different, right? A lot of you, we're so plugged into these social contracts and these socio-cultural programmings, and then add the past lifetime programming that still is in your field, which oftentimes runs conflict to the programming that you have in this regular current lifetime. Built into your adherence, plugging into these frameworks, these networks of false programmed thinking by people in power who have inability to actually even connect and conduct higher frequencies. When you're plugged into that, you are not in your own will state, you're literally moving to the tune of other people. And now you're killing other people. Now you're ostracizing other people. Now you're cursing other people. Now you're stealing from them. Now you're looking down on them. Now you're withholding love from them. Now you're cursing their name. All sorts of stuff. Now you're picking up arms in the name of what? A false construct, nation, state, religion, institution. What is this construct? It's an imagined community. If you really want to be about bringing through these higher frequencies, you have to be here and then ask your higher self. For example, I love, like, for example, Catholicism. I love it. Yeah, yeah. And then maybe it's because I have a couple past lifetimes as a nun, but I've also felt the frequency of other religions and oh, beautiful. But listen, I'm out here saying I love those frequencies when they've been blessed upon me for me to feel it and identify it. I don't want to interpret those frequencies outside of what they actually are. So I'm going to bring it here. And this is how I keep myself in alignment with myself. And when I plug into my own higher frequencies, I am the authority. And so when I decide to reach out and look at something else, I give myself permission to look at it and see, how do I feel? Does it align with the love and the goodness and the joy and expansive, as I'm saying, this is going all the way over there, and the expansion that I can get with this? And if not, look, I'm not about that. And guess what? When I keep this frequency up, it's not that now I'm away from society and all that. No, it actually opens me up. Look at this. Archangel Gabriel. It opens me up to a whole different world of connections. Look at this. The Buddha prepares the treasure, King of Forces, Akashic Library, intricacies in industry. You will not be left wanting. You're just plugged into an unloving world, an unloving frequencies. Your belief systems will plug you into different versions of the earth, period. Which version you decide to plug into is up to you. But you have to start with your understanding of what your beliefs are. The minute you're in, I don't have, boom. I'm not worthy, boom. I'm such a loser, boom. I have to overwork, boom. So, because that's not the language of spirit. And the more you do that, the more you collect those beliefs into your frequency, and then your world will crystallize around you. And now you can't go anywhere without hearing about wars and about this person in poverty and that person fell and broke their neck. You can't go anywhere without hearing that. And then the tragedy of it is that the way that online stuff works these days, it's like the algorithm will see you watch one thing because now you're drawn to certain videos because of this negative perspective that you bought into, you agreed, consented to on some level to plug into. They will see what you're watching and then it will bombard you with things that align with that. And before you know it, you're lacking the critical thinking to realize I'm just engaging in confirmation bias. You want to get out of the false trap, stop looking and believing in things that have nothing to do with you. If you like to understand what you see going on in the world, like the wars, the politician stuff, the innovations in science, and all whatever it is, you unplug first, you connect with your higher self, the same force field that is here for everybody. And you become a master, they're saying, of your own. Look at you still trying to go, oh, that's right, because this card's here. Like, why is it trying to go there? Yeah, thank you. You become the master of your own domain. Look at the background here. This is because you have decided to be in integrity with what all that is, your true self. And then from that place, boing, here you are in the physical, you ask spirit to structure your world and to give you a truer understanding about what's going on in the world. Because things are going on in the world, but you don't have to see the world for what perspective other people are showing. Because they're looking at it through the lens of distortion and their own distortion, their own trauma, their own things. Some of these people that you're voting for, some of these people that you are giving money to, some of these people that you are fighting other people over, they wouldn't even have you to sit at your dinner table. at their dinner table. You don't know, but they haven't been home for the past few nights because they're out somewhere with other people doing things they shouldn't. You don't know, they are engaging in behaviors that if you saw that in your own family, you would have to take umbrage with. You have to stop buying into this false matrix. That's what the matrix is. It's just the matrix and connection of beliefs. Same thing with celebrity culture. Stop plugging into things that have nothing to do with you. And this is not that you are an outsider. It's not that you're a bad citizen. It's not that, no. When you plug into these beliefs, they come with trappings that we can see in your energy field because you can't lie to your energy healer. We're seeing those structures in your field. God bless you. With hugs, we're removing them and helping you to think differently. But these belief systems carry, what do they call them? Trappings of, God, what's the word? Uh, Yeah, like a checks and balances, they pull you back in. And one quick example of that is if, oh, like for example, if you're plugged into this belief system and you're like, well, I have an opinion, you say something different, people are programmed to attack you because now it's like the overseer kind of thing. Get an overseer to keep these people in shape. But the overseer and the people in shape, they're all prisoners because no one's running stuff, right? So you have to understand that if you really want freedom, you tap into the only one thing there really is, which is your own self. And you have to get rid of the fear that that means that you're going to be an outcast because human beings desire and need community. They need to feel like they belong. But your question is always one thing and one thing alone. Look, one thing and one thing alone, you got to choose. Am I going to agree to plug into the perceptions of the world that other people are selling me? And there are always people willing to give you something. Or am I just going to like do a thing? Am I going to plug into myself first, get rid of the false programming, see what actually who I really actually feel like, and then start to experience the world for myself. Oh, I used to do that, but now it just doesn't sit right with me anymore. Oh my God, I used to laugh at this group of people along with my buddies and friends and community. But now that I'm in my own space and I know more about who I really am, and I'm feeling connected to something higher than me that is actually me, but at a higher state of frequency. So I'm bringing myself more into coherence. I'm like, that was me on some frequencies I don't even want to be associated with, right? And then you start to cultivate the self and you start to revisit the world in a new place. And then what happens? Then the world that was looking like this is going to look different. And this is what it means when we say you choose the version of your world. That's it. The world isn't going to split into two physical spaces. We're all here in the same physical space, but you will definitely occupy a different reality. And everybody will find their way to their chosen reality. We're all sovereign beings making choices. To awaken means to start to understand what that looks like. You will be under the will of other people until you realize that you have a will and that there's a way to plug in to that will. And then you start to realize I actually enjoy my will because I'm not a bad person. I'm pretty cool. And I notice when I follow this that I prosper and so do the people around me. Plain and simple. So anyway, looks like I'm going to have to put this into two videos because it's over an hour. And that's okay. Because, we're out here with the messages. So this December, it feels like Spirit is asking you to take a closer look at who you are being. Who you are is always known. It's just not known by you. Who are you? You are all that is. Temporarily in an ultra individuated state, so individuated, it's crystallized, and we're in this physical space. So technically, you are super cutely, temporarily experiencing yourself. You are all that is, God, source, origin, whatever you want to say, temporarily in an individuated, personified form for the purpose of experiencing yourself in, how do you do that? You you're in relation to other selves of you, all that is. But down here, they appear like other. But you don't have to experience these lower versions. And in fact, the more you muck about in these lower frequencies, the further away from your higher self you are. And we know this because when you're in a bad mood and you're dreary, you're like depressed, you're low, you're like, right? As opposed to wow, I'm really like in a higher state of being. I'm just moving fast, time's moving quickly, I'm just enjoying myself. This is two frequencies. One is moving very slowly, the other is moving quickly. One is just ultra heavy and stuck in one place. One's very fast and expansive. Hey, blah, 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 let's do this, blah, blah, right? Which one would you like to be? It's not going to be like this. It's going to be like this. Do you want to be down here or do you want to be up here? You can be in the body, but you're not of the body. Your task is to bring your higher consciousness, higher awareness, higher wisdom, and to maintain a mindset that allows it to align with you in this frequency. And then what you do is now you've become a conduit because now you can be of service to other people. But the thing is, you will no longer be attracting lower frequencies. They cannot even be in your vicinity. And this is what it means to walk. What did it say? Walk through the valley of shadow of death or whatever. The seas will part. That's what it means to walk through. It's not like, oh, I'm not going to see other people. No, you're going to walk right by them. They're not going to notice you because you're in two different frequencies, two different worlds. All right. Now, there are some of us, God bless, and all of us in a sense, right? But some people who are like they can see higher and lower. They can move up and down the frequencies, up and down the dimensions, so they can perceive of all of these goings on. This is why we can see ghosts, we can see ETs, we can perceive that. So somebody has some of us have the ability to see multidimensionally. But wherever you are, technically, you're in your space. And the more that you expand your consciousness and you get into who you really are, guess what? Ding, ding, ding. Your awareness, your consciousness, your everything expands and you see more, you hear more, you feel more. You're just better in all ways, shapes, and forms because you're getting back to what your Christed template. In other words, the real you that is unadulterated, that is unprogrammed, like and by doing that, you and other people like you create a beautiful world for those who desire to plug in. This person over here can just decide to plug in one day when they want, and we all will. The question is always when you gonna do it. That's all it is, dude. And if you fall off the bandwagon, okay, whatever, let's try again tomorrow. Because the quote unquote fall off the bandwagon and then it's not an issue. It's when you start beating up on yourself and telling yourself you're a loser and this and that and comparing yourself to what? Nothingness. People playing in the backyard with stuff that they don't, just, all right, oops, I failed. Get back to your joy. Okay. Anyway, I'm going to end it here because it looks like as we end this December of 2024, oh my God, 2024 is almost over. This is a wonderful moment to really to stop and to think about who you are and what you'd like to be and what you'd like to be about. At the very least, just chill out and love yourself. And I say that because I'm channeling, but that is something I am actively working on. And I will tell you, it's not easy sometimes. First of all, let me stop with that BS. It is easy if I choose for it to be. And on some level, I don't choose for it to be. And I know it sounds strange to say that because if you know me, you know I'm constantly working on raising my perceptions and perspectives and all that. But I've identified some reasons why I'm fighting my own self from opening up to this. And it has 100% to do with me having a belief on a deeper level that I don't deserve it, right? That deservedness, guys, those are those core beliefs. Those core beliefs are the ones we have to get to. I don't deserve it. I'm not good. I'm not a good person. And a lot of times those are informed by multiple lifetimes of false beliefs. But if you need a nice pat on the shoulder and a good reminder of your awesomeness, come see me, because that's what we do. We teach, heal, and motivate. All right. So anyway, God bless you and thank you to Jellycat. Thanks, Jellycat, for helping us to bring through these messages. If you'd like to work more personally with me, but of course in your own energy field as opposed to the collective field, you know exactly where to find me. We do intuitive counseling sessions where you can choose either an hour and a half of work or 2 hours. And what we do, we meaning the whole team, is we tap into your field, we connect with you. It's live via Google Meet. And yeah, whatever it is that you need, we get you up and running. If you'd prefer more distance healing, which is a recorded video for you of the healing process for you, but you won't be present in the physical, but you are in a non-physical, obviously. And then that's another option. If you prefer to have an intuitive card reading, which is an hour, we'll do these beautiful cards for you with whatever needs to come through, and it'll be sent to you in a beautiful link to your own private LinkedIn video. LinkedIn, what am I saying? LinkedIn video, not LinkedIn video. YouTube. YouTube link. Why would we put what is that? YouTube video for you. And if you prefer to have a short reading more in line of a written reading, then definitely hit me up. I mean, that's shorter, but good God, that takes about an hour. I'm considering taking that off the listing. It takes a while. Anyway, so I put everything into the work I do. All right. God bless you guys and have a wonderful December. You know exactly where to find me and stay true to yourself. Okay? And stop mucking around with all these false beliefs. They not you. Okay? Yeah. Bye.